Hey guys, welcome back to episode 7 now of Watch Takes on Watches with Oliver. I'm glad to have you here. So for today's episode, we are going to be reviewing one of my personal watches, the Caravelle Electronic Set-O-Matic Date Day Transistorized Watch. If you guys don't know what a transistorized watch is, take a look at my episode 6 in my YouTube channel so you can find out more on how a transistorized watch works. So here is the watch we will be reviewing today. This is my Caravelle Electronic Set-O-Matic Date Day watch. Now, there are several iterations of this watch. The first version came out with the name Caravelle Transistorized, followed by the second version, which is this one, the Caravelle Electronic, and then the third and final iteration, the Caravelle Electro Time. So we're going to be taking a look at this watch for today. We're going to be taking a look at the dial, the bracelet, the movement, and how it fits on my wrist and what I think overall about the watch. Alright, so here we have the Caravelle Electronic Set-O-Matic Date Day watch. It has the silver sunburst dial which radiates greatly in the sunlight. As you can see, that sunburst effect right there. The silver is almost close to like an ice silver, glacier silver if you will, and it shines brightly in the sunlight and it's very reflective, and it has this, as you can see, sunburst pattern on the dial. The 12, 6, and 9 markers are in the brigade format, and the rest of the markers are black inlaid, followed by silver surrounds on them. And the hour, minute, hands have also black inlay, and the second hand just is straight silver. So a lot of nice details to this watch. The outer track has the minutes on it, and you can see the lume plots are also on the hour markers as well. So the dial is really nice. It's really pretty in the sunlight, and as you can see here in this light, it shines very, very nicely. And it has a really nice sunburst effect too. And then onto the bracelet. The bracelet is a 18mm lug width, and it's essentially a 5-link bracelet. As you can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The outer and center links are high polished, and then the other 2 inner links are brushed. It also has a bulova clasp right there. The one thing about this though, it does attract a lot of fingerprints and scratches pretty easily, so if you are very conscious of that, just be aware that if you do get one with this bracelet type, that it can attract a lot of those. As you can see right there, it says stainless steel, made in Hong Kong. The bracelet fits really nice. Nice and thin, very comfortable, and there's essentially no flex in there, as you can see. So overall, it's a very nice, solid, well-constructed bracelet. So the watch head measures 37 in diameter with 18mm lugs, and as you can see, there's the day and date as well. So the crown functions right there. So in its normal position, it doesn't adjust anything. Pull it out once, and then you can adjust the date or day depending on which direction you move it. And then if you pull it out all the way, it will hack so you can synchronize the time. So let's go ahead and take a look at the ESA 9158 movement inside. Before we take off the back, the case back does have some inscription on it. So right there it says Caravelle, water resistant, stainless steel back, base metal bezel. So base metal bezel typically means that the case is made out of chrome and it's just simply plated. The stainless steel back is obviously this part right here, which is typically stainless. So Caravelle, in order to cut costs, would usually have the case finish in a chrome plated finish, so that way instead of having a stainless steel case, it would have a chrome plated case, which would cut costs. And right there, of course, like with all Bulova Caravelle products, it has the year So N denoting the 70s, and then 7 denoting 77, so 1977. So we are going to open the case back, and we are going to see the movement right here. And there it is in all of its glory. The Caravelle designation 13 UKCB movement, but this is actually an ESA 9158 movement. This movement was used in a variety of watches from Stellantis, I think, Hamilton, Rado, obviously Caravelle. The only thing that Longines, the only thing that changed was this little plate right there. So that was removable, and then manufacturers would put their own inscribing plate on there. So as you can see, there's the battery, there's the balance spring, and then there's the coil right there. So the magnets on the balance spring react to the electricity that's produced to the coil, which causes it to rotate. So this particular movement beats at 28,000 BPH. However, when you look at the second hand, you wonder, well, why is it moving in a not really smooth fashion? So while it beats that 28,000 BPH, technically the watch runs at 14,400 BPH. So a fun fact about this particular movement, there is no pallet fork in there. There's actually a little magnet that controls the escape wheel. So we can definitely go look into that in a future video when we review the ESA 9157 58 movements. But essentially, there's not many parts in here. It is a 7-jewel movement. You could adjust the regulation via this arm right here. But it's pretty much a workhorse movement. I would say this, the 91, 57, and 58 are the most reliable bunch of the transistorized electronic movements. The rest are a bit finicky. But this is, I believe, pretty much the last iteration of ESAs, which eventually turned into ETA, but the last iteration of the electronic movement. Other than that, it is pretty basic. You can service it. I mean, maybe that's why these movements were not that popular, because it was battery powered, but you still have to service it, whereas quartz, they were pretty much accurate and you didn't really have to service it. So, but yep, this is the movement right here. Now here it is on the wrist. It sits very comfortably on my 6¼ inch wrist. I do have small wrists, so there are additional links would be required for this, but as you can see, it wears pretty well, and it wears really comfortably on my wrist. It's very light, and I don't really feel it on my wrist, which is nice. It's unobtrusive, it fits under a shirt, and it's dressy, but can also be sporty at the same time. The crystal is acrylic, so we could always buff it out at any time, in case it gets any scratches. So there you have it, guys. There's my review of the Caravelle Electronic Set-O-Matic day-to-day watch. So my thoughts about it, it is a really good watch, measuring in 37 millimeters, it has just the right proportions, it has a really comfortable bracelet, and you never need to wind it. It also keeps good, accurate time. You could easily adjust the date and the day via the Set-O-Matic function, so it's a pretty reliable watch. I mean, I'm not sure why these watches didn't really catch on, but I guess with the advent of quartz watches that just came out right after it or during the same time, I mean, why deal with having to have a balance wheel and a mechanical hybrid type of watch when you could just go for total accurate quartz reliable watches. I mean, I think that was probably the dilemma back in the 70s and 80s, hence why quartz just essentially took over and the electronic transistorized watch faded away. So if you guys enjoyed this video, like, comment, share, subscribe. I really appreciate it. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.